again. What are my thoughts on the Shatter Me series? This may offend some people, but buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm going to talk about it. I originally did not read this series because I was aware of lines like, lift your hips for me, love. Like, excuse me, sir? No. Why did I start reading this series? 2025, I read a ton of fantasy. I'm sick of fantasy, okay? I am fantasied out. I need more sci-fi, I need more dystopian, and I'm just not really sure where to get all that. And I kept seeing videos on Book Talk saying, no, this is no spice, no spice, no spice. Respectfully, I disagree, but let's get into that. So I started the first one. I was like, we'll see how this goes. And in this one, Juliet really wants one of the main male characters to touch her and hug her and stuff, but anytime they might want to do anything more than that, they're interrupted. In this one, it is a little bit more risque with one of the male characters. He has a tattoo pretty low down on his hips when he has his shirt off, and he is, leaning toward being a bit more with Juliet. Again, nothing happens in this one, but still, we know a lot of her thoughts and feelings, and they're pretty suggestive. This book really doesn't have anything suggestive in it. This is just about Aaron and Adam, kind of their point of view, and it does kind of sort of add a little bit to the story. This is where it starts really heating up, and the main beef that I have with these is they're supposed to be YA. There are no explicit scenes in here. But the thing is, they give us so much of what Juliet is thinking and feeling. It is not difficult to fill in the blanks, and it is quite clear at different times that they are indeed getting it on. These are very mislabeled. I do not feel these should be YA at all, and this is one of several books in which I actually was like, okay, I'm not reading this. Tear out some pages. Because of the content in here. Basically, Juliet is in charge of everything here, and she is wanting to get on with Warner every time she turns around. That's kind of sort of interrupted finally towards the end, but with these two books here, I feel like there is more of let's have time than actual action. Finally, we get into this. There's a lot more action. That's great. I like it. I appreciate it. The only thing I didn't really like was the weird, creepy science experiment thing where we find out that Juliet, as well as her sister Emmeline, were being used in a science experiment for the betterment of the world. Juliet does end up unaliving her mom, who is a terrible, terrible person in this one. And a lot of the violence is not crazy graphic in this series, but that is pretty descriptive right there. This is Kenji. He is thinking a lot about Nazira, and he's thinking about getting it on with her, so that's kind of annoying. If you took out that bit, we'd have pretty decent plot, but he's thinking about that a lot. In this book, finally, I think I'd say the last two books have the least let's have time thoughts going on in them. This has a lot more plot, a lot more action, which I really, really appreciated, and in that sense, I enjoyed this book a lot than the others. So what would I say? As a Christian reading these, I would not want my impressionable teenage daughter to read these, and I do have a daughter, but if she reads these, she's going to wait a while before she reads them. I've removed the inappropriate scenes, and I have removed the excessive profanity. But can I, in all honesty, recommend that you let your teenage daughter read these? No, I cannot. Not really. Them's my thoughts. That's a pretty condensed summary of what you can expect to find in this particular series. And I know a lot of people would be like, well, teenagers are already going around having a lot of things in these books have what I would consider unrealistic relationships. There are a lot of super toxic, not good relationship things going on in here. And there are just some different elements that I don't think a lot of teenagers are going to be ready to tackle or think about in a good way. So yeah, I would say saying these are not spicy is a bit of a misnomer, but what do you think? Have you read them?